The iconic, intimate theater is buzzing. A packed house, the low hum of anticipation. A single microphone stand with a stool, a sleek desk with 2 glasses of water, and a lavish cityscape background. David Letterman, 70s, gray beard, sharp suit, stands center stage, basking in the applause. He holds a note card, looking at it with a mix of amusement and disbelief. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please sit down. You're all very kind. You know, when you've been doing this as long as I have, you think you've seen it all. You've interviewed presidents, legends, the occasional guy who can balance a lawnmower on his chin. You think nothing can surprise you. He taps the note card. But then you get a note from your guest before the show. And on this note, it says, and I quote, "I will be answering questions on my time in my way. Please keep the interview to the pre-agreed topics. We will not be discussing the weather, the previous administration, or the size of my hands." The audience laughs. Dave smirks. Yeah, so our guest tonight is a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a long one anyway because that's what he'd do. He is a businessman, a television star, a 2-time presidential candidate, and the 45th President of the United States. Please put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Donald J. Trump. The band kicks into a fanfare. The audience erupts. From the side of the stage, Donald Trump emerges. He's in a dark suit, red tie. He walks slowly, deliberately to the stage, giving a slight wave, his face in a familiar, serious pout. He shakes Dave's hand firmly. "David, great to be here. Great to be here. Tremendous crowd. Really tremendous." David, indicating the chair. "Well, have a seat, Mr. President. It's an honor. Thank you for coming." Trump settles into the chair, adjusting his jacket. He leans forward immediately, elbows on the desk, looking out at the crowd, not at Dave. "So, David, how's it going? You look good. You look healthy. They said you might be sick, but you look good." "Well, thank you. I feel good. You know, fresh air, a little exercise, avoiding controversial dinner guests. It's a simple formula. Now, before we get started, I have to ask, the note. You sent a note, a list of ground rules for our chat. Is that right?" Trump, leaning back, a slight grin. I did. You have to, David. You have to. The fake news, they twist everything. They take a simple, beautiful statement and they turn it into a disaster. So I like to set the parameters. It's a very successful technique. It's called controlling the narrative. You know all about narratives. You're in show business. Right. Controlling the narrative. I get that. So my job tonight is to just follow your lead? Trump points a finger at Dave. Now you're getting it. That's why you're a pro. A lot of people don't get it. They don't understand the art of the deal, the art of the interview. You ask a question, I answer the question I want to answer. It's very simple. Everyone's happy. David nods slowly, a mischievous glint in his eye. Okay, I think I can work with that. Let's test the parameters. You mentioned in your note we can't talk about the weather, so I won't ask you if it's a nice night out. We can't talk about your hands, so I won't remark on how they look like 2 perfectly normal, if a bit small, gently used oven mitts. Trump's smile tightens slightly. A few nervous chuckles from the crowd. And we can't talk about the previous administration, so we simply can't discuss the man you beat in 2016 or the man who beat you in 2020. That leaves us with the pre-agreed topics. Trump shrugs. Exactly. Plenty to talk about. Right. So the pre-agreed topics. My producer showed me the list. We have your new line of gold sneakers, the incredible success of your NFT trading cards, and the amazing reviews for the portrait they hung of you in the Colorado State Capitol. Trump nods along, looking pleased. Fascinating. Truly. A treasure trove of conversation. But you know me, Donald. I've always been a bit of a contrarian, a bit of a rule breaker. And sitting here looking at you, I have to say the one thing we can't talk about is the only thing I really want to talk about.
Dave leans forward, his entire demeanor shifting from comedian to inquisitor. The energy in the room changes instantly. It's palpable. Trump sees it. His eyes narrow just a fraction. Trump, his voice dropping, a warning tone. David, we had an agreement. We had a deal. It's a great deal. Let's stick to the deal. David, I know, and deals are important. But you know what else is important? The truth. And I'm just an old guy sitting here, and I'm genuinely curious. It's January 2021. You're in the White House, the country is on edge, and you get on a phone and you call the Secretary of State of Georgia. Can we talk about that phone call?
The audience holds its breath. Trump stares at Dave. For a full 5 seconds, there is absolute silence. He's not used to this. He's used to friendly interviews, softball questions. He came here to sell sneakers. He came here to control it. And in 30 seconds, Dave Letterman has just thrown the entire agreed-upon script out the window. I don't think you want to do that, David. I really don't. That phone call was perfect. It was a perfect phone call. You know it, I know it, and everybody knows it. See, I don't know it, and I don't think everybody knows it. That's the problem. Or maybe that's the conversation. Help me know it. Explain to me and to this live audience what made it perfect. I was talking about election fraud, massive fraud, in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, numbers you wouldn't believe. They found thousands of votes, David, thousands. And I said, I just want to find 11,780 votes, that's all, one more than we had. It was a suggestion. People make suggestions all the time. They said it was pressure. It wasn't pressure. It was a suggestion from a very concerned citizen, the President of the United States. A suggestion. Right. It was a suggestion to a fellow Republican, a suggestion that if he didn't find those votes, he might be opening himself up to criminal prosecution. That was part of the suggestion, wasn't it? Trump's eyes flicker. He's not expecting the precise recall. He's not expecting the follow-up. He tries to pivot, to go back to his talking points. The whole thing was a witch hunt, David, from the very beginning. Russia, Russia, Russia. And now this. 2 impeachments. Can you believe it? I got impeached twice, and I did nothing wrong. Nothing. Well, the first one was about you asking a foreign leader to dig up dirt on a political opponent. That phone call had a similar, suggestive quality, didn't it? And the second one was about a mob of your supporters attacking the Capitol while you watched on television for 3 hours before telling them to go home. But let's stick to Georgia for a second. Dave is utterly in control now. He's not shouting, he's not being aggressive, he's just persistent. He's using Trump's own logic and language against him. Trump looks like a man who has wandered into a trap. You said you won Georgia. You didn't. You said there was massive fraud. Your own Attorney General, Bill Barr, a man you appointed, said there was no fraud on a scale that would have changed the election. Your own judges, many of whom you appointed, threw out case after case. So when every single person around you, every institution is telling you it's over, what makes you so sure you were right? Is it just a feeling? He's flustered. He looks to the wings as if for a handler. He looks at the audience, who are utterly silent, glued to the exchange. He tries a different tactic, going for a personal jab. You know, you've changed, David. You used to be funny. You were a funny guy. Now you're just nasty. You're bitter. You're probably upset your show got canceled. My show got canceled? My friend, I've had more shows than you've had bankruptcies, and that's saying something. But you're right, let's lighten it up. Let's go back to the pre-agreed topics. The sneakers. Tell me about the sneakers. Dave leans forward, hands clasped, an expression of intense mock curiosity on his face. Trump is thrown completely. He was ready for a fight, but now the fight has been taken away. He's been given an off-ramp, but it feels humiliating. He's been put in his place not by aggression, but by sheer professional control of the conversation. He shifts in his seat, adjusts his tie. He's lost. The audience sees it. The silence is deafening. They're great sneakers, gold, very limited edition,
People love them, they sell out fast. There you go, a man of the people. Now the NFTs. I have to say, I don't quite get them. You're depicted as a superhero, right? A kind of truth man, fighting fake news with a laser? How does that work exactly? The tension in the room has broken, but the power dynamic has permanently shifted. Dave is gently, almost paternally letting Trump off the hook. Trump answers the questions, but his answers are short, clipped. The swagger is gone. The man who came to control the interview is now just another guest, answering the host's questions. The interview continues for the rest of the half hour. Dave asks about the sneakers, the NFTs, the portrait, but every now and then he weaves in a question about the presidency, about the weight of the job, about a world leader he found interesting, and Trump, now compliant, answers them. He's been mastered. Toward the end of the show, the mood is lighter. Dave is wrapping up. Donald Trump, everyone, the 45th president. He came here to sell sneakers and talk about superhero trading cards, and I think we managed to have a pretty interesting conversation anyway. Thank you for being here, sir. Trump stands, shaking his hand. There's a look in his eye. Respect, resentment, he can't decide. He gives a tight smile. You're a tough interviewer, David, a very tough guy, but it was a good conversation, a very good conversation. Thank you. He waves to the crowd, who give a standing ovation, mixed, some enthusiastic, some polite, all captivated. As Trump exits, Dave turns back to the audience, a satisfied, wry smile on his face. You see that? That's what happens when you don't stick to the pre-agreed topics. That's the show. Good night, everybody. The band hits the final cue. The audience roars its approval. Dave Letterman walks off his own stage, having done exactly what he set out to do.